Alright, sorry, November 2023, so let's have a look at what Casio G-Shock has to offer for us. Starting with the first one on the list, of course, like always, we're gonna need a Casio oak. In this case, HIP full metal, not titanium, but just stainless steel. Casio oak GM B2100VF-1 AGR at, check this out, 184,800 Japanese yen. Alright, but for a good reason. This is a collaboration between G-Shock and Yoshi Dano, basically Potter, which was very popular. Every time they made a collaboration, the watch costs over 100,000 Japanese yen. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the most expensive one yet, I think. Regardless, still, the watch itself just basic, nothing much going on there, just HIP, which alone gonna look insanely good. If you have that amount of money to spend on a watch, this might be the one for you to go, though. If you don't, just a side note here, I own this full metal black IP square G-Shock watch, right? So check this out. If you abuse the hell out of this thing, technically, you could age it and make it look kind of similar as this guy. With like, this thing cost me 30,000 Japanese yen only, so there's other options for you to do. Anyway, carry on to the next watch on the list, of course. Not a Casio, but this is for winter selection. Of course, we're going towards winter season now, so we're gonna have some snow team G-Shock watch, right? So white band pairing with a small size options, silver stainless steel, metallic gray for not mistaken for the face, which is quite interesting. And then of course, if you're not into metal battle G-Shock, you have this GA21FS-7AJF pairing with the small size options, I would say. This one has metallic blue face, and if I'm not mistaken, the small one has the metallic orange, which is, even though it looks pretty simple, straightforward, metallic orange watch face is new, I think. And then the third pair, based on a GA110, which is still a thing, turns out. Oh, here we go. GA110WS-1AGF and 90,800 Japanese yen. Again, white band bezel with purple face. The small size option one, though, has that greenish looks on the face, which also rare. So if you're into small size watch, maybe that will be for you. But me personally, even though I have a skin wrist, I'm not into any one of these small size watch, by the way. Though some of you guys did ask in my older video what kind of G-Shock which you should get if you have a skinny wrist. And you know what, most recent released Casio G-Shock of more focusing on small size guys, I guess, even though the advertising featuring women, but it is G-Shock on the brand name there, so I guess that's for guys. And one of the options here is this GMAS 2100NC neutral color scheme. This is more for light brown with yellow face. There's the more darker shades of brown with rose gold face, which looks very pretty. Of course, every time they make a small size watch, they have to make it pretty for some reason, even though they could just make it all black. I mean, that would be sales better, I think. And then GMDS 5600 neutral color. This one has some leafy pattern on it. The Casio oak now have a leaf shape as the sub-dial has, which kind of cute, I think. Anyway, I'm not into this anymore. If you watch my older video, you'll notice that I used to love floral pattern G-Shock watch, but those back in the days. Today, this is it. All right, blackout, or army military color scheme are my kind of taste today, at least. And speaking of cooler color theme, here's another one, aim high series G-Shock one. So we got 3 models in this list, right? GA, of course, Casio 2100 AH-6 AJF, 17,050 yen, with I believe they call this crosshair, representing the gaming, specifically FPS, first person shooter gaming, which is very popular these days thanks to the mobile gaming community. So I guess this watch fits to those kind of audience. Me personally, I'm not into FPS anymore, even though I used to really into them back in the days. Today I'm more of a strategy game, one thing in mind, of course, the classic StarCraft, and of course the Red Alert, right? A lot of you guys could relate to that. And here's another one, DW-B5600AH, of course gonna have the Bluetooth equipment here, or else pretty much didn't match with the team here, right? You can see some crosshair pattern on the LCD, which is really cool for the square one, by the way. The GAB one also fits really well, more of a sci-fi theme is its design. I mean, overall, great colorway. And speaking of color, it looks like one of those vintage Snake Killer series back in the 90s, right? So if you own one of those, maybe this could complete your collection, or at least have a pair with your insanely rare Frogman watch, GW200 if I'm not mistaken. insanely beautiful, really collectible G-Shock watch. Not sure about how it is today though. Anyway, carrying on to the next watch, we have GW9500 KG-3GR at 59,400 Japanese yen. Basing on the Mudman, notice how hard it is. Every time I put this on, you know, I really want to try to use it. Every time I give it a chance to use it, but still, I can't due to how terrible negative display is. And thank God, Casio listen, I guess, to all the critics, and now for a limited edition series collectibility aspects equipped to it as well, this one have positive display, so that's a good thing. And of course, matched with the brighter color for the watch, green bezel. They could have made those bezel multiple colors though. So if you look closely, this feature multiple piece for the watch bezel build. So seems they only use green here, which is kind of odd. But still, they add the wing there in baby blue colorway. Now the stripe comes in green to match with the lizard. So I guess overall, I can't complain much whatsoever. It is a limited edition G-Shock watch. Regardless, the price kind of fair, just slightly more expensive than the standard release. So if you haven't owned one yet, this might be it. It is again kind of bridge between G-Shock and the Casio ProTrack, so you kind of get the best of both worlds, plus collectability aspects to it as well. And speaking of collectability, here's another one, MRG B2000SG. You know what? This didn't deserve it. I'm gonna put on my MTG B1000 just so that I could talk about this watch right here. 880,000 Japanese yen, based on the helmet, a samurai helmet, which is really cool. And since it comes with white band, you know, grayish color scheme there, I'm just gonna call this the white tiger, since it has literally tiger engraved on it by hand, which the reason why this watch costs so much. Of course, other than that, the body itself is titanium, I think. It's really being forged even further to make it even tougher, and it creates all those recrystallized pattern like on it, which it look very good, but the price is just too high. Again, remember, if you're looking for function, right, there's a lot of other G-Shocks out there you could pick at a much cheaper price. But then again, with this watch, it's not about function, it's more of a build, material, craftsmanship, and all of that other than function. So we're going beyond that now. So there's that, hence the pricing. And speaking of which, the cheaper options will be this MTG B2000 YR-1AGR at 187,000 Japanese yen, which I think beats everything on the list today due to how good looking it is. First, that metal bezel at the top has well, rainbow IP, which is not a big deal. A lot of other G-Shock have the same IP process, right? But it has another layer to it where it has cityscape pattern etched on the watch bezel, which is rare. Second of all, the casing on the sides. Oh, by the way, this watch features carbon monocoque, which that alone already expensive enough to manufacture, and then they create the side bezel also layered between carbon and glass fiber layer. I believe it's got 238 layers of fiberglass and carbon. Insanely complicated, and if you look closely, really accurately made as well. And for that amount of price, you know what, if any other watch brands out there were to make the same exact thing, they're probably gonna charge us way more than what Casio is charging us right now. So even though this is way out of my budget, I really like this MTG B2000 just for the hardware alone. For the function, not so much. You could get the exact same thing out of a Frogman, probably even more. But then again, if you're into hardware, you know, manufacturing capability, this watch is a beauty, at least to my eyes. All right, that will cover everything you need to know for this month's release, plus some another lover collection, which if I'm not mistaken based on a vintage model with all those nylon strap on it. You know what, this other version here that is much better than those, but anyway, that's just my opinion. You could comment down below which one is your favorite. Mine, well, you guys already know. And if you want to get one of these, anyone at all, check the link down in the description box. Sign up to Buy Japan totally for free. You could buy any one of this G-Shock watch and on the seeing over here or on the list at probably at a much cheaper price if you're lucky. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.